enjoyed some Corona. Everybody, I'll be back. Just wanted to, again, just thank all of you for coming. Want to thank Big Cherry Brewery for allowing us. I think they're opening maybe the end of this week, last I heard. But this is a great opportunity for you all to try. Please tell people how great it is, even if you don't think it's great, because they were nice enough to have all of us here today. I just real quick want to introduce, I think most of you all know Will Payne with Invest Southwest Virginia. We've been involved, there's a group of legislators and a few others of us that I guess we're a quasi-board that kind of helped to oversee Will. If anyone knows Will, there's no overseeing Will. More keeping Will from getting us in too much trouble. He has done an amazing job in the last 3 years. I was adding it up on the way here. With the announcement we're going to have today and the jobs that are going to be announced later on today, Invest Southwest Virginia has created direct employment, direct jobs. I think we're at about 800. He'll say 790. So that's 800 jobs generated through the work of our legislators and through the work of Will and Invest Southwest Virginia. So just wanted to give Will a hand and let him come up
here. 3 years ago, we were over at the building a block away, the Mutual building, and thanks to Steve Lawson, somewhere here, the Tobacco Commission, Kilgore, the Tobacco Commission was able to support this co-work space, create this co-work space here, and made it our mission to figure out how to recruit companies that are interested in growing their footprint outside the traditional route of a more metropolitan area. And so what we needed was, some data to demonstrate that companies looking to add talent are looking for alternatives that mean higher employee satisfaction, higher employee performance, and lower turnover numbers. And with a company like Paymerang that you'll hear about in a second, that's exactly what we're trying to do. And companies are here for the long haul and want to support this community. I met Nasser Chanda about 14 months ago through a relationship with Untitled Chapter Partners in Virginia, a private equity firm that has been helping us kind of look at other opportunities. Nasser's joined by Gloria Garber and Mike Dorr. Mike's a good friend going back about 10 years or so. What was really exciting, and immediately they believe what we're trying to do here, and have a real partner who can grow with this region. So it's really exciting that we could say we almost closed this deal back in the UVA football game last October, I believe, and against I won't say but I won't say who won that game, but it was really exciting, and spent the last year trying to figure out the right move for Paymerang. So Nasser, welcome. Thank you.
We started 14 months ago, so we've already got people working for us here, and they're with us today, so I want to welcome them. Thank you, Will, for introducing me to the area. I didn't know a lot about Southwest Virginia. I met Will 14 months ago, and he said, look, they're hardworking, honest people, it's a great history, and so we wanted part of that, and came out here. My daughter went to UVA once, so I was here again, and was able to see our first employee at the time, check it out. And as we experienced it more and more, we realized this is the place we want to be. So I wanted to talk, what's this, the 10-minute version? Am I giving the 10-minute version or the
10? Sure.
10, okay, I'll give you the 10-minute version. So, first thing we want to talk about what we want to do here in terms of creating jobs, growing our business here. Secondly, I want to talk a little bit about what Paymerang does and why do we exist as a company and what are we trying to solve. And the third thing is, how can you help? A lot of you ask me, how can we help you? I'd love to kind of walk through that as well. First thing is, we are going to be announcing that we're creating up to 50 jobs over the next few years. The jobs are in several areas. They're in software development. They're in cloud engineering. So cloud engineering is the infrastructure under the software, how you sell your services to your clients. And the third piece is in operations, call center, and running our business on a day-to-day basis. We've already hired some folks and have had great experience. We already have signed up the town of Big Stone Gap as a customer, and that's been a phenomenal journey for us. I think, where's Steve? How's our service? How are you enjoying Paymerang?
Absolutely.
So they're loving us, we're loving them, And employees, how has the experience been so far for you all?
Amazing.
Awesome. And we're so proud and thrilled to have you as well. So this is what it's all about. This is the American dream. I actually immigrated from Pakistan to Canada in 1976. Grew up there. Did my first job at 13 years old in the newspaper, delivering newspapers. They still have them, I think, somewhere. And then worked at McDonald's when I was 15, and I never stopped working. And what I realized, and as I was growing up, we used to get a lot of Hollywood movies in Canada. So I said, one day I want to live in the U.S. I watched Top Gun. I wanted to be in the U.S. Air Force. And we moved here about 16 years ago to Richmond, Virginia. It was for 3 years, and we never looked back, and we said, this is where we want to be. But what I love about America is it's a true meritocracy. I've lived in the Middle East, I've lived in Asia, worked in South America. This is the best country on earth because we give equal opportunity. We're not perfect, but we give equal opportunity to everybody. You can come here, it's a true meritocracy. If you're willing to work hard, you're willing to be creative, then we create jobs. We are the innovation of the world. This is where great ideas happen in America. Rule of law, great constitution, great background. So that's what I love about America, and that's what this is all about here today. Is Paymerang had a great history. We were founded in 2010. We were 25 people when we started our journey with them in 2016, 2017, 2018. We are now 225 people in Richmond. We've created 200 jobs. We have customers around the country. We have large hospital groups. We have large public companies. We have water districts. California Water is a customer. Maine Health is a customer of ours. Manufacturers are a customer. Across the country we're serving, from a nice little town of Richmond with a small beginning of 25 people a few years ago. This is what you can do when you have the dream and you work hard for it. And this is exactly what we see here in Southwest Virginia. We were driving in yesterday night, stayed in Bristol, had breakfast at the Blackbird bakery this morning. It was the best chocolate croissant I've ever. It was better than Paris. It was really good. So we walked around the city. We drove over here, saw the mountains, saw the rivers. It is just beautiful. So we want to keep coming back. We want to grow our people. We want to add more business here. We started with Steve, but we want to expand to healthcare providers here. They can use our services. Schools can use our services. Counties can use our services. Cities can use our services. What Paymerang does is we automate the finance office across America in mid-market companies, in all industries, in healthcare, in manufacturing, in services. And by using our services, what our clients can do is take their team and elevate them. We automate the routine stuff so that they can do the heavy-duty stuff. They can make healthcare in America better. They can make education in America better because the finance office is now more effective and they're able to help the mission of the company, to help them serve their customers. They give more visibility, more transparency. They get more automation of the routine tasks. Paymerang helps them to receive invoices electronically, approve them electronically, post them to the general ledger without touching any paper. We help them pay their vendors electronically without having to mail checks out. And through that, we're creating more automation. We help our clients be more secure because there's a lot of check fraud, there's a lot of ACH fraud, and we protect them. This year alone, we have helped clients save $3 million through phishing scams that we prevented. And those would have been $3 million that would have put them in the front of the newspaper. It would have affected taxpayer dollars. It would have affected the ability for governments to serve their constituents. And we are at the forefront of helping them to stop fraud. We work with the FBI whenever we find situations where we think there's some bad actors involved. We work with the FBI, we get them involved, we save money, we bring money back, from places where it's been defrauded in the past. And that's a big part of what we're trying to do, because if we do this well, our people believe, and we believe strongly, that when Paymerang does well, healthcare in America does better and education in America does better. There's no better opportunity than that. So we're very proud to be part of this. We have our first 3 employees, we're going to have many more, and we're going to have our first client, we're going to have many more in the area, and that's how you can help out. That's the last part of what I want to talk about, is we believe in what we do. We help our clients save a lot of money and make them more effective. And we see businesses in the area that can use our services. There's counties, there's healthcare group. Maine Health is one of the largest employers in Maine. They were using a very old, antiquated solution. They came over to Paymerang. They've seen thousands of hours saved. Their people feel better about the work they're doing. Their vendors are happier. This is what Paymerang is seeking to offer. So this is what we can do for businesses around here. Please introduce us. Please think of us. Consider us when we knock on your doors and ask you to help us to present our services. You will not be disappointed. You will get the best service, you'll get the best software. And that's the last part, is this, there's a whole digital economy that's happening in America. The digital economy is about taking what used to be hardware and software that you used to have to buy to run your business, and it would cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars and years to get up and running, right? Now you have the cloud-based economy, which means that a provider like us can work with you to provide our solution, and in a week you could be up and running with a login on your browser. You don't need hardware, you don't need software, it's all in the cloud. And this is a vision that we have, is this idea around from coal to cloud. That the coal, where we were doing with the coal industry, we could take that same hard work, the same ethics, the same creativity, and apply it to the cloud industry and serve businesses around the world from this area, from Richmond. That's our dream. We hope you'll join us in this dream. We hope to be working together with you. We'll see you around. I hope we'll see you around over the years. We're not going anywhere. We are going to invest. We're going to grow this business. I hope to see you soon, and that is the 10-minute message. Are there any questions that I could field or address? No? Well, thank you very much. So we have our lovely employees right here, and we have Gloria Garber, who's our head of people and talent and culture, and Mike Dewar, who's head of public sector. For us, they're amazing. Like, I learn from the people at Paymerang all the time. Gloria has helped us to really architect this amazing culture we have. We've won 3 top workplace awards just this year. The best and brightest list of companies in America, Richmond's top workplaces, and great places to work. And we've done this. It's very hard, you may know, it's very hard to run a business today because you have a lot of things going on. There's inflation. There's a lot of things that our people are going through. We work through that. We're growing our business. We need our people to be productive. So obviously there's accountability, but at the same time, we're a very human company, and we have a soul, and we take care of our people, and we deliver great service through that. And that's what business is all about. So thank you for being my partners in all of this, and thank you all for all your support.
Well, again, thank y'all for being here today. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what Nasser tells you what he does, but really how Big Stone came to be a partner with them. As you know, here in Southwest Virginia, all over Southwest Virginia, we've grown a lot, and that brings changes within our departments, within our towns, with everything that we do. Once Big Stone started having some economic development happen and some more stuff happening, we started with employees that we had, we started stretching them out more and more. You start having block parties every other Saturday, and then you start doing different things downtown. All of a sudden you got your 40-hour workers that are on salary working 60 and 80 hours a week, and sooner or later that gets tough on families and gets tough on what we're doing. So what we really looked at Paymerang to do was, we were having trouble. How many of you have trouble with governmental accounting sometimes? And trying to get all of that stuff, ready for the auditor to come and see and to do. Well, we were having trouble filling a position after we took a great accountant and made her our town clerk. We didn't have that position, we didn't have the right person to fill that position. So we kept looking, we trying to figure out what we do. So we started thinking outside the box, and when we learned what Paymerang could do, we took that busy work off of our accountant, and we moved another person that had skills like being a payroll clerk and being able to use human resources, and we let our town clerk go back to doing those accounting, the real tight governmental stuff that you got to have for your audits, and you got to have to make sure everything is going right. So once we made some of those changes and made the busy work get handled by Paymerang, then we were able to keep that employee just reorganized our administrative offices to where it was easier on us. Everything was still being done in a very precise, great manner. We added another checklist of things to our procedure to make sure we're still complying with everything. And it really, really helped us out a lot inside our offices of bringing down some of that busy work to where we had people on my admin staff that were working 70 hours a week, non-stop all the time. We thought at first we might have some trouble with, let's say, a Gap Lumber or Balls TV down the street that suddenly gets a card to pay off of, and they don't get a check or they don't get something mailed to them. What that problem is going to be. Are they going to understand how this thing works? We've had no problem whatsoever with that. It's absolutely amazing the way that the local businesses that we pay checks to have worked with us, and it's just been absolutely just perfect. But for me and my testimony to the company, it helped me create an admin staff that works better for us and gets other things done, for us. But before I'll let the numbers person, Amanda, will you come up for a second, just talk about how it's worked inside of the accounting department, and that way if y'all have any questions, I'll be off the floor and won't have to answer them. And she can tell you, this is one of our employees here. As you know, Amanda's our town clerk. She's the heartbeat of Big Stone Gap. Without everything that's happened in Big Stone Gap, wouldn't have happened without people like this on my team. I'll let Amanda tell you how we started February, probably with the relationship, talking through the relationship, and started getting stuff done. And we've just been increasing. We've been adding something to it all the time.
Go ahead.
So, as Steve was saying, with the changes in our staffing and everything that we had, and trying to find a way to do more with less, in February we started the conversation with Paymerang on what the options were, what we could do, how the process would work, how long it would take for implementation. In April, we actually went live with Paymerang for our first batch of payment processing. And this goes for any of our local vendors to our national vendors, our Anthem insurance and everything. Those payments get processed through, and we can track them through our accounting software, and then turn around and connect that same information through the Paymerang portal and have the information of whether it was paid by credit card, an ACH, a check, how all of that ties together and still gives you the audit trail to easily access. The one thing that I did find very helpful, and that I'm sure we will take advantage of when we do our audit this year and the auditors start looking at this, Paymerang can also set up a view-only access to allow your auditors to go in and actually do their testing and view the information and everything for that payment processes. We have continued to add to that process. We've had no issues with the payment processing. All of the vendors are happy with the processing. They can do a check, they can do an ACH, they can do a credit card. It's whatever's convenient for that vendor. But we are now going live with the invoice automation and everything, to where Paymerang will actually start receiving our invoices by email and be able to set that up in the portal for us to go in and then distribute out to department heads or to code myself and get into a batch, if you will, and everything, that information to then import back into our financial system and upload, and again, keep our audit trail and keep all that information. They also keep a digital copy of all the invoices that are processed, so we no longer have to keep the paper item or scan the check and the invoice for the auditors to come back and view and everything. Again, that view-only access will allow them to see the invoice side as well as the payment side and everything. The return process, if there's any kind of issue with the vendor not accepting the payment or for some reason it going to the wrong location, the support staff reach out as soon as there's an issue. If it's an ACH or a credit card, there's a 2-week window that we get an update that this check is still outstanding. Have we had contact from the vendor saying they haven't received payment? Has Paymerang had someone reach out and ask them a question to give more information on the invoice and the payment process. So it's been very seamless, very smooth. The support staff has worked with both the IT department, with our software for our financial programming, and with me to get all of the file imports and the transfers and all of the information set up and ready. Any questions, any support, it's been a wonderful experience with no complaints or issues. Now we've just got the one bug to work out on our import file, and hopefully we'll be good to go on going live with our invoice automation.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
And yeah, and the payments and everything, the payment side is free and everything when you set up with the processing and everything. There is a one-time initial cost for the invoice automation, dealing with the programming and tailor-making the portal work to what you needed to do and everything. But when you look at what we would pay for a financial person, roughly around $60,000 a year with benefits and everything, our cost for invoice automation and everything is a one-time cost of $5,000. And then we have a maximum of 300 invoices a month at no charge, but $1 per invoice above 300. So if we process even 500 invoices every month for the whole year, we're going to be nowhere close to what our expense was on that financial person. And that allowed us to, like Steve said, restructure our staff, pull in a different admin setup and everything to allow us to utilize those skills and those hours in a better frame.
Anybody have any questions?
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Enjoy your lunch and make sure that you join us down at the visitor center for the announcement after you eat. 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Again, if there's anyone who wants to fill out one of the seats, feel free to sit down. We'd love for you just to sit down. And sorry we're starting a little bit late. We were running around looking for Nasser, the CEO. I sat down to get ready to start, and there's an empty seat, and I didn't know whose empty seat it was. And Steve said, I think it's the CEO of the company, so we better wait till he gets here.
There's just so many lovely people in the room that I want to spend time with.
And second, too, thank you for everybody that was able to join us today for lunch. We really appreciate each and every one of you. And as I mentioned at the lunch, every one of you that was there has played an integral role in this. Just real quickly, raise your hand if you're not from Big Stone Gap, if you don't live or work for Big Stone Gap. So I want everyone to notice that and see this. And if you remember some of the announcements we've done in the past, Invest Southwest Virginia, and our local economic developers, the RIFA, and a lot of other groups, we really have been trying to put a focus on working as a region, not as one entity, not as one town, not as one county. And again, looking at most of you, you've either helped fund a project, been the brain trust to think up a project, or really spent a lot of time working on a lot of projects that we've been working on. So this is just another case of that. As I mentioned at lunch to some of you, the Invest Southwest Virginia initiative, which is in year 3, which is led by Will Payne and semi-governed, I guess is the best way to put it for Will, by a group of legislators and a few others of us that serve on that. And with the announcement we're about to make today, 790 direct jobs have been created by the initiative over the last 3 years. So I think it's a pretty good number. And any of you who do economic development, thank you for that. So we want to go ahead and get started. And in order to save time, we're going to have 2 welcomes, but they're going to be back to back. And so first we're going to start off with the town of Big Stone Gap and Mr. Steve Lawson to welcome you to Big Stone, followed by Mr. Mike Hatfield, Wise County Administrator.
Thanks, Dwayne. As everybody in this room knows, there ain't much happens without Dwayne knowing something about it. So we do thank you, Will, and Invest Southwest Virginia, but thank you, Dwayne, and the Lena-Wisco team, because for all of us, especially the towns and the counties around here, we know how much Lena-Wisco means to economic development and everything that goes on around here. So thank you, sir. Thank you to our legislators for being here today. It's really important. You know, anytime you guys can come to town, and we'd like to have you just every time you can, so we can take you around on a tour. We've got a lot happening, not only here at Big Stone, but in Southwest Virginia, and it's now people are taking notice, and it's time to come down and get the fruits of the labor that you guys have been doing, because we are moving. Nasser, Mike, Gloria, thank y'all for believing in Southwest Virginia, for believing in our community. You're going to be a great addition to it. We welcome you with open arms, and you're going to love it. I guarantee your workers, you know, everybody that's going to be here. The mountains of Southwest Virginia are a great place to raise a family and to do your work and to have fun. So, and for everybody in the room, when I look out here, you know, it's all friends. All of you have helped me in some way. All of you have helped our team in some way, and Big Stone Gap wouldn't be growing without, you know, everybody that's up there. But you know, this announcement is special for me because I'm usually talking about opening a business or a restaurant or having a party. So to actually, you know, have some jobs and be bringing in some jobs, it's a big announcement for us. And you know, one of my big partners in crime is coming up here now. So Mike Hatfield, come on up. Thank you for all the county does to do so.
Thank you. On behalf of Wise County, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you here today. We have been talking with Paymerang and Nasser for an extended period of time, and we're very excited about the work that they do and what it can mean to the businesses, to the colleges, and to the towns, and the benefit that will bring to Wise County. Along with, we're always happy to welcome jobs. So it's with great pleasure that I welcome each one of you all, and hope we do this many, many times in the near future. Thank you.
So this is the part I get excited about, because each of their staffers told me I could say whatever I wanted to introduce them. And I know that has some of them concerned probably a little bit. See the political smiles there? All three have that down good. I just want to, before we introduce our legislators to speak, I want everyone to know, you know, Congressman Griffith, Senator Hackworth, Delegate Kilgore, Senator Pillion, Delegate Wampler, the entire Southwest Virginia legislative group has really put their money where their mouths are on a lot of regional projects. I've been with Terry several times, Todd, Travis, when we've had announcements that aren't even in their footprint or in their districts, and they're all really working together, and really I think everyone is bought in on working as a region and helping do things. And so I want to thank them, Senator Pillion and Delegate Wampler, just the whole group, the ones that even couldn't be here today. I know Delegate O'Quinn has sent a message to Will saying he couldn't be here, and but again, it really is a team effort with all these gentlemen. So next, I get the distinct honor of introducing Congressman Morgan Griffith. I think everyone here knows Congressman Griffith and all the work he's done. I can honestly say he has saved us on several economic development projects. He has told us ever since he's been in office, if we ever need him to make a call to a prospect, if we ever need him to help us with funding for a prospect, to call him. And that's not lip service, because we've called him and we've called him and we've called him, and he's always answered the bell for us and helped us really land a lot of the commitments that we have landed, including here today. So, Congressman, I'll go ahead and give you the mic.
Thank you. We even had one of those calls last week trying to make sure that the federal government did what they were supposed to. And that's just what you do. Not everything you do gets a nice big press event like this, and we're so happy to have you all here. Today's announcement celebrates innovation based on the enduring assets of Southwest Virginia, a low cost of living and a high quality of life, and great workers. These assets are already a great attraction to people who want to stay here or come here. Improvements in internet also offers access to another asset. They lower barriers to employment in rural areas like ours. I'm glad to see the work of Project Fuse with the support of Federal Economic Development Administration continue to pay off with today's announcement. Now, some of you may go, Project Fuse, what the heck are you talking about? I have to confess, I said the same thing. And Project Fuse did the study that said, or put the money forward to do the study that said this was a feasible project to do. And so we're happy to help. And that's where we get back to that, we're all on board. Whether we be in Congress, whether we be in the state Senate, the local House of Delegates, the local government. And I gotta tell you, I was at another announcement yesterday in Patrick County, where we're working on healthcare things with Senator Warner, and I will be with Senator Kane tomorrow. People don't realize it. We have our political differences, but when it comes to doing the things that we agree on, which is helping jobs come to Southwest Virginia, or helping create more healthcare opportunities in Southwest Virginia, we all work together across the Senate of Virginia, the House of Delegates, the Congress, and the United States Senate. We don't look at party ID when it comes to trying to do what we can do. Now, you get into that on some of these big issues that we get into sometimes in DC, and that's the nature of the animal. But when it comes to things like this, we work together as a team across the board. So I appreciated you saying that. That was very, very important to get across. With Paymerang's decision to locate a hub in Big Stone Gap and create 50 jobs in the area, distributed work environments now have a foothold in the region. My hope is that other employers will see what's going on, and we were talking about this at the Big Chair, that if you see something that's happening, that's exciting, that's new, that's innovative, that's upscale, other companies are likely to come there. We had the Big Chair where we had lunch, and now we have this announcement today. That will help attract other people who will say, hey, we heard good things going on in Southwest Virginia. How about let's look at Big Stone Gap? And that's why these kinds of announcements are important. Distributed work environments can also help level the playing field for our region. And I look forward to new developments in this area. Thank you all so much for letting me be here. Will, where are you? Will Payne. Thank you for making sure that I was able to participate in this. I greatly appreciate it, and I look forward to working with you all on more exciting developments in the future. God bless.
Now this will be real fun. Senator Travis Hackworth, I think all of you know Senator Hackworth. If you haven't had an opportunity to meet him, I strongly encourage you to take the time just to come up to him and speak to him for a minute. I've just gotten really to know him over the last couple of years since he's been serving in the Virginia Senate, but he's certainly been a friend for the Lennowisco Planning District and also for his entire district. He's called me a few times, and I've got in the car and I've gone to Richlands, and I've always had a good lunch with him and even better conversation with him and Tom both. So we're real fortunate to have Senator Hackworth here today.
Thank you, Dwayne, and for all those people that left the luncheon and come up here and didn't come here. They said they got water, so they don't have anything. But anyhow, it is a great afternoon here at Big Stone Gap, and when we look at this room, we look at the people that are here to celebrate this. As a former IDA member and also Planning Commission member, elected 2 terms to the Board of Supervisors there in our county, the real work has been done by these people, and it's the ones that really are trying to balance a budget, trying to figure out where they're going to get their money to pave the streets, fix the potholes, and try to create jobs and economy within their footprint. And we at the state level, we say this all the time: give us a call, we'll help do anything we can. But a lot of it is boots on the ground here, and then when they make those calls, we try to push it over the edge to try to help it. But so thankful, when I ran for the Senate, they asked me, they said, Senator Travis, you're a small business owner, you know what it means to sign both sides of the checkbook, the check, what is balancing a checkbook, what it is to roll the beds at night, figuring out where the dollar's going to come from to meet that payroll. And we want somebody with that kind of experience. And so we have been very fortunate to be able to put that experience to work with several. A lot of times when we are looking at legislation, and I'm always looking, how does that affect the local people? Because Richmond is very good at doing unfunded mandates, and sometimes pushing that down to where the localities have to make that up, rather by it may be increasing a property tax or maybe a vehicle tax, personal property tax. So it's so good to see economic development. You know, Big Stone Gap 5-6 years ago looks a lot different than it does today. And kudos to what is going on here. And I really appreciate the hard work and everyone that's been involved in it. And anything that we can do, the offer is still on the table. Please give us a call. So it's a great privilege to be here. And thank you for having the confidence and coming here. And I am sure they will not let you down. And we was talking and the name Paymerang, is that right? That's right. So try to practice that Paymerang. But it is just a neat. When I was hearing what they did, I'm thinking, wow, there's a lot of businesses that I think here in Southwest Virginia would like to take advantage of that. So thank you again, and it's a privilege to be here today.
So our next speaker, Delegate Terry Kilgore, just a quick story. I'm sure that puts fear in him. One of the stories I can tell. This was probably 2 or 3 years ago. I was in Kirkland's. I wasn't at the bar. I was just hanging out in Kirkland's with some friends. And Delegate Kilgore and his wife Debbie came in, and they had a wait for a table. So he came over and we were talking. I said, "Here, go with me somewhere." He said, "Where are we going?" And I said, "Just follow me." So I took him down a staircase that was dark. And he was like, "Dwayne, where are we going?" I said, "Just trust me." And he made the mistake of doing that. And we walked down into a basement that was very similar to what I would call a dungeon. There were just brick cinder block walls and the smell of mildew. And I looked at Terry and I said, "Steve Lawson and I have been down here a few times, and we've come up with an idea that this would make a great working space." To which any of you, if you know Terry Kilgore and you get this look right here, you're in trouble. His neck kind of goes and he goes and pops up like that. And that's the look we got, but we didn't quit on that look. So we finally got him somewhat interested in doing something like that. And then we reached out to the Virginia Tobacco Commission. And I know Sarah's sitting back there right now. And we told Sarah we had a basement we wanted to turn into a workspace. And Sarah's known me for a long time, and I could tell by her voice, she's like, "Okay, Dwayne." And I said, "Why don't you come for a visit and let us show you what everyone, especially Steve, has as a vision for this space?" So Sarah and the Tobacco Commission took a risk on the project, and they came, and Sarah bought into the co-working space idea for Big Stone Gap, and the Tobacco Commission, I can't thank them enough for doing that. And that investment, I think, will certainly pay for itself. So, but that Tobacco Commission money, a lot of that was certainly because I believe at the time Delegate Kilgore, I think, was the chairman of the Tobacco Commission, and really was a strong advocate for the project. So, Terry.
All right. Thank you.
It's great to be here today, and to quote my friend William Wampler back, he used to quote Barney Fife on days like this. Remember, William? This is big. Remember, this is big. But this is a great day for Big Stone, a great day for Southwest Virginia. It's just a great day to have Paymerang make their announcement here today. If you listen to Nasser earlier today, you just say, hey, this guy has what it takes to create jobs in Southwest Virginia, and to create jobs in Virginia. What a great story he has. But they've already started hiring employees here, and I talked to some of the employees, and they're so excited about the opportunities they have with these new jobs. And, this $250,000 investment that the Tobacco Commission made for this co-space in the Mutual Building, where the hub is going to be set up for Paymerang. Without that, we wouldn't be making this announcement today, because that's very important to Paymerang to have that hub. And this $250,000 investment, Sarah, we're going to easily pay for that within less than a year with this announcement today. So we're so excited about that. We met with Nasser over, believe it or not, on a sidewalk outside a Tobacco Commission meeting over in Bristol. We were having our Tobacco Commission meeting over in Bristol to confirm that he was coming to Southwest Virginia. We couldn't have done that without Dwayne's hard work, without Will Payne's hard work, without Steve just being the spark plug, calling, texting you all the time. You do that, Steve, but that's okay. That's good. That's great. And we love that attention and the energy that Steve has for the folks here in Big Stone and in Southwest Virginia. And but before I introduce Nasser to come up and talk, I want to introduce Gloria Garber, who's the Vice President of People and Culture. Thank you for coming today. And also Mike Dorr, the Vice President of Public Sector. Let's give them a hand. One thing that I found out that your daughter attended UVA Wise last year and now is in Charlottesville. And we were talking about all the investments that we made at UVA Wise. And we're proud of UVA Wise, proud that your daughter attended there, so that you have firsthand knowledge of our region. And he's worked hand in hand with the Southwest legislators over the last 24 months to make this announcement reality. I think you even met some of them at a UVA football game in Charlottesville last fall. But the thing about Paymerang, they are a great company to work for. They were Richmond Times Dispatch 2022 top place to work, and also named one of the best and brightest companies to work for in the nation in 2022. So that is great news for Southwest Virginia, that we're able to locate a company with all the accolades here in Southwest Virginia. So we are excited today to formally announce that Paymerang will be locating here in Southwest Virginia, and we want to welcome Nasser and your team here to Big Stone Gap. So Nasser, come forward.
I just want to thank you all for being here, and I want to thank Will and Wayne and all of you who've been kind of part of this. This has been in the works for about 14 months now, and we're so excited. Before I even make the announcement, I really just want to give a little story about innovation in America and creativity and business creation. If you look at Silicon Valley today, which to me and to us is the center of innovation in the world, it's where all the great startups are being born. If you go back a few decades, it was basically not where it was today. And so what happened was some creative people in economic downturns started some ideas, had some dreams, and they built those dreams out. And next thing you know, you have Intel and you have Hewlett Packard. And then that creates innovation. It creates people who work for those industries, learn the business. Then what happens is they sometimes leave those companies and then they start up their own businesses. And then they start up those businesses and sometimes they become very successful and they become millionaires. And then they go off and start a venture capital firm to invest in new businesses. And those new businesses hire people from the other businesses. And you create this amazing circular economy that grows because everybody is lifting each other up together. That's the dream that was Silicon Valley, what it is today. You can say anything about the world and all of the great things that are happening, but if you want to look at innovation and the best ideas, it is America. And so you go from Intel and Hewlett Packard to Google and Facebook, and then you start to see that there's growth. And that's the little kernel of idea that we had as we were talking about this over the last 12 to 14 months. In fact, it's what we had when we started with Paymerang. I joined in 2016, so I did not found the company. There were people who are smarter than me and better than me who founded it and made it a great company. And I joined there in 2016, and we were 25 people at the time. And we just said, we have this little spark of an idea, let's make it big. And so we went down and got financing. We got about $26 million of funding and grew the business. We went to market, we expanded our verticals, we went into healthcare, we went into manufacturing services across the country. And today we are coast to coast, and we're going to mow the lawn for a little bit here. Today we are coast to coast. We are serving companies, High Point University, California Water, Maine Health Group. These are big companies across the country that we're serving. It's our nice little startup in Richmond that was created a few years ago. So we went from 25 people in 2016 to 225 people today. We created 200 jobs. And I'll tell you a story. In 2016, when we got our funding, we're a small company, 25 people. We were very humble, and our investors called me on the weekend, and they said, "Hey, we're going to get this deal done tomorrow. We're going to come over. We're going to do a big announcement. The press is going to come. I'm bringing I'm bringing the governor of Virginia, and you're going to announce that we're going to create 200 jobs." And I'm like, "Wait, we're 25 people. How are we going to create 200 jobs?" And we were talking to him a few weeks ago, and he said, "Remember when I told you we're going to create 200 jobs?" And we did, and we did. So here we are now in Southwest Virginia. We're driving over last night, and we saw the sign, "You're in Southwest Virginia," which was so proud for us to be here. We're seeing the mountains in the background. We go to Bristol, and we're at the hotel. This morning we woke up, we went to Blackbird Bakery and had a nice breakfast. And then we drove over here through the mountains, saw the rivers and streams, and reflected on the people, the history of Southwest Virginia. And then we came here to the event, and we were talking about the coal industry and its history, and then iron ore, and all of the families that came and built this place. And then we saw a little bit of a downturn, because times change, the world changes. But you know what? The world can change again, and we can change it. And that's why we're here. So we are announcing that we're going to create up to 50 jobs in Southwest Virginia over the next couple of years. It's going to be jobs that are really good quality jobs for people who can really see a future for themselves in the company. It's going to be in software engineering, software development. It's going to be in cloud engineering. So cloud engineering is the infrastructure underneath the software that's served. And then it's going to be in operations to run the business and serve our customers. In call center operations, paying vendors, helping them to reconcile their accounts, enrolling vendors in our network. So these are going to be great. And what I hope, the dream is in 3 to 5 years, we start to say, some of our folks came, they learned, they grew, and then they go off and start their own companies. And who knows, maybe then they become millionaires and become venture capital investors in this area. That would be the dream. So that's what we're looking to do here. In terms of what Paymerang is, we're in the business of providing finance automation for the modern enterprise, we call it. So finance automation is taking those processes in your accounting department, paying vendors, approving invoices, booking journal entries, all of that work. There's a manual component to that work, and then there's the higher level work to that. And a lot of folks in these finance departments end up doing a lot of manual work, like mailing checks out, reconciling bank accounts, approving invoices by paper, and routing them around the office. All of that is now electronic. This is the digital age. So what we do is we say to the CFO, automate your finance and help your people elevate to better jobs, better work. And so we've seen people who are accounts payable clerks, we've seen people who are accounts receivable clerks. They're now junior accountants, they're now senior accountants, they're leading teams. They're telling hospital institutions, here's how we can be more efficient. They're telling educational institutions, this is how we can effectively use our dollars to make education better. That's what's happening, because now they don't have to mail checks. They don't have to reconcile bank accounts. Paymerang is doing that through our software and our amazing people. And that's transforming healthcare, that's transforming education. That's what we want to do here in this great part of the country. So we're going to move ahead here. We've already hired some folks. We're going to keep hiring more. Thank you, Will. 14 months ago, we had a little dream and an idea, and that idea has already started to take root, and we're going to grow. And if there's something you know about Paymerang, or I want you to know, is that we're very persistent. We love to win, and when we make promises, we love to deliver on those promises. When we say we're going to create jobs, we create jobs. When we tell our clients, you're going to get the best software and the best solution from Paymerang, we deliver on that. And because of that, we have an incredible net promoter score. It's higher than, it's in the range of Tesla and Apple. Our customers say that by using Paymerang, they get the experience that they would get when they bought a Tesla or they use an Apple computer. Our technologies are leading edge. We're in the AWS cloud. A client can sign up with us, and within 1 week, they could be logging into our portal and paying their vendors electronically and approving their invoices electronically. And they didn't have to buy any hardware, didn't have to invest in any software, and the training is already done. Their people are up to speed, our people are up to speed, and guess what? Their people are now giving us the manual work and our software the manual work, and they're elevating themselves. We're not taking away jobs. We're helping people lift up to do better work, and that is powerful. So that's where we're going with this, and we're just thrilled to be here. We know that the people of Southwest Virginia are incredibly honest. They're incredibly hardworking, high integrity, and that's what Paymerang stands for. Integrity is part of our ethos. It's part of our values. And I've learned that life is really short, and you should be really doing something that you love with the people you love doing, and that's what we're doing. And this is the best. I've been in business for 25 years. This is the best part of business, is when you're able to create jobs and help people have meaning in the work that they do, and then they start to see a future for themselves with your company. They see that they can progress from being a processor to a processor 2 level, to a software developer. We have people who came into our company who are payment processors, hourly wages, who moved up. They're now in software development, they're in customer service, they're in client success, they're in marketing. You know, we've had them go across the organization. It's not just about moving up, it's about moving lateral. Because then the organization grows, the scope of the organization, the scope of what the people do grows. So let's go back and dream with those people of Intel and Hewlett-Packard. Let's imagine, you know, those companies starting to grow here as time goes on, and hopefully some of them would say, hey, one day I was a Paymeranger, and today I'm investing, today I'm starting my own business. That's the goal, that's the dream, and thank you for having us to be part of our dream and your dream. Do we want to take any questions? Are there any questions for what Paymerang is trying to do with our business? Sorry I was late, I was selling. Yes?
Nasser, can you talk a little bit about what you see as the best way to become grounded as a business arriving in Southwest Virginia and Big Stone Gap, and what you're wanting to be a good neighbor? How can we be good neighbors to you?
So how are we going to be grounded, and how are we going to be good neighbors to each other is the question. The answer is, first and foremost, we work based on our values. And at Paymerang, our values are, you know, working hard, working with people, passion and positivity, integrity. If we stick to our values and you stick to your values, which we know your values are very aligned to our values, I think that's how we all ground each other. And we've already created some jobs. We already have a client here, the town of Big Stone Gap. And we want to have more clients in the area, so you can help us as well. We do great work with Maine Health, and you know, these are 1,000-bed hospital institutions, big universities across the country. California Water trusts us. So please trust us to do the work for you. We can work with the hospital systems around here. We can work with healthcare, K-12, higher ed institutions around here. We can work with cities and towns. I'm doing your job selling for you, Mike Dooley, so I expect.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of his job lately, but we would really love to work here for you and with you, and that creates that circular economy I was talking about. That creates more jobs, our ability to grow faster. The second part of the story with our investors is they said on the phone call, okay, so you created the 200 jobs, and now how are you going to create the 2,000 jobs? And if anybody can do it, Paymerang, you know, Gloria, I really want to recognize Gloria and Mike Dewar. I work with some amazing people. She's a warrior. She came in and she said, yes, we want to grow. Yes, it's about profit and growth, but it's also about people and values and rewards. So I want to correct you. Top workplace 4 years in a row. Best and brightest 3 years in a row. Great places to work first year. Inc. 5,000 3 years in a row. So. When we won the Maine Health deal, let me tell you, they were using American Express and bank. They were using bank solutions. They were using other solutions. And Paymerang, a small private company in Richmond, comes along and says, "We'd like to work with you." It was a 6-month process. We went to see them. They came to see us. They vetted us. They called our clients. They looked at publicly traded companies like us. There's not a lot of companies that do what Paymerang does. We are very scarce in terms of the software we have and the services underneath it. We are very unique because the work we do is really hard. It's hard to build a company like this. We built it and we compete against some very large public companies and we won the business against the large public company. That's the heart and soul of Paymerang, and I thank the people that work with us to get there. Does that answer the question of how we stay grounded?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? I was going to say let's have lunch, but we already had lunch. Thank you.
Thank you, Nazar, and I know we're all extremely excited to have you all on Big Stone Gap. Just one other thing that kind of was part of this story was, and Congressman Griffith mentioned it a minute ago, was Project Fuse. And Project Fuse was essentially a playbook that was put together involving the Lonesome Pine RIFA, and I know we have some members of the RIFA here today. If you could raise your hands just real quick, we have all of our RIFA members. And Project Fuse really was put in place to look at what we could do to attract these types of industry or employers to our region, focusing on the robust broadband we have, whether it's through Scott County Telephone, and we've got Scott County Telephone. Bill Franklin won't raise his hand, but he's the guy with the hat right there. And it was a wonderful partner with us on Project Fuse. Project Fuse was funded halfway from federal EDA funds, but the other half came from Go Virginia, and I see Kaylin over there. And we couldn't have done this without you all and the money you all put in this as well. And also we had a lot of input from Vicki Ratliff and Amy and Dr. Westover at Mount Empire. And we generated an employment opportunity then called eHealth. And today this is the second announcement that's kind of come from Project Fuse and that study. So we're really excited and just want to make everyone know, hopefully we have even more announcements generated from Project Fuse, but it's already certainly, I think, paid for itself in the initial amount that we used for that study. Paymerang staff. When they came here today, and a lot of you may not know this, a lot of times when we bring companies in, we have to do what's called incentives to get these companies to come. Paymerang is getting no incentives. And what that says to me and says to this whole group and every one of us, and I could hear it in your comments, they fell in love with the place and they fall in love with the people we have here. So thank you for doing that. And you all even worked hard. If you see these purple, beautiful things, me and Jimmy had no idea how to put them together earlier this morning. And you don't see this a lot from executive staff, from companies like you all. And your entire staff, they were up here helping us and getting everything put together. And I just was sitting there thinking, that just shows the kind of people that we're welcoming to our community. So last plug for Nazar, and then we'll just let everyone do what they need to do. Go to www.paymerang.com, and they're already under employment opportunities. You will see, if you go there right now, there are employment opportunities, some in Richmond, which is okay, and some in Wise, Virginia. So just seeing that, I think made all the effort that Will and these guys have put forth, make this just a great day. So thank you everybody for coming. Does anybody else have anything? If I forgot anything, and again, Nasser, thank you, and thank you to everybody.
Everyone together for